Squelch, 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 squelch.
Welcome back to Squelch the Video Game Book Club. I'm Dano.
I'm Matt at Arms.
And I'm Storage. And we are here to remind everyone that Dragon Age Origins is a game, and that games are supposed to be fun. This week, we're playing from the very beginning of the game through to the Tower of Ishal. And next week, we are going to Lothering, our very first camp, and the entire Circle Tower storyline.
And now it's Dragon Age Origins, and nothing we can do about that. Just nothing.
Or it's Dragon Age, or it's just Dragon Age Oregon, where it's just like the story of the state of Oregon through high fantasy stuff.
I thought it was like one organ of a Dragon Age, like it's like
no,
it's like its heart or something.
No, I like my idea better.
Before the podcast, I had written a section of the show notes, and Dano told me straight up, this is just wrong. I rewrote it. So now this is 2 times Dano has just fully capitalized on an error of mine and been like, what if I made it just off sole focus for a good solid 30 seconds?
I mean, that's what comedy is, right?
Pointing out
our
our tiny little mistakes. I myself
Exactly.
have never ever like slightly misspoken or had to re-say a word. I've never had.
I think that's
ever.
correct.
Yeah,
I've never heard you misspeak anything.
No.
Messing
Dragon Age Organ is the skin. Thanks, Joel.
Now, the good news is that this is a voiced game, so we don't have to argue about how things are pronounced anymore, which is exciting.
We sure don't, which is pretty fantastic. So anyway, hey you who are listening for the first time, welcome. This is as good as it gets, so buckle up, Buttercup. Thanks for joining us.
If you thought, what a wild intro, surely this isn't what every episode is like, you'd be wrong.
This is us. We're Squelch the Video Game Book Club. If you are new here, it's probably because we're talking about Dragon Age, and Dragon Age is awesome. We get that. We agree. You're probably asking what in the world a video game book club is. It's like a book club, but with video games. So we pick a game.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No notes. We pick a game. We play up to a certain point, and then we talk about that point, and then we do it again next week. So welcome.
Yeah.
We are happy you are here.
Yep.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Thank.
Hey, thank you to all our patrons and Twitch subs. We appreciate you so very much. So probably no After Dork this week unless something comes up during the podcast that I really, or Daniel really, or Matt really wants to talk about an After Dork. I have to do our taxes still, and that deadline is coming up quick.
That's 2 days from when we're recording this, Dano.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
that would be
aware. I
Tuesday.
don't need you to add more stress to the situation, Storm Rage. We don't need to talk about how soon it is, just that it is soon.
I mean, good move. Seeing the IRS would still be there by Tuesday.
Well,
Yeah, fair.
You know what? Who knows? It's a mystery. 40 chess. It's all 40 chess. We've got some lore to talk about, so let's get into it.
This one's a real page turner.
All right, so we're going to start with some things that we think you should know for context purposes if you are new to the Dragon Age universe and you're just kind of listening along, so that certain things we talk about make sense. So we're going to go over the basics of the world of Dragon Age. Then we're going to get into the origin stories. There are 6 origin stories. We're only playing 3 of them. for obvious reasons. But we did play through all 6 stories, so we're going to talk about those, and then we'll get into the recap. So
I do want to
yes.
highlight, just before we get into some of this stuff, is that if you're thinking, did I miss this? Not necessarily. A lot of this is not presented straightforward in every origin story. Some of this is presented in one origin story, some of this is presented in a different one, some of it is hinted at, some of it's in codexes. So like, if you're thinking, I don't remember this, that's fair. I didn't remember most of this, and so a lot of this is kind of hidden or in some additional details.
Yeah, and some of this like might not even be like, it wouldn't even be available in the game yet if you're playing along and you're like, oh, I didn't realize I missed all the countries that are in Thedas. We're just presenting that now, so we don't have to present it later, basically. So, speaking of which, so Thedas, this is the continent that all Dragon Age games take place on. See, Stormrage, I never missed my words, ever.
Never,
ever.
That seemed like an intentional choice, and I appreciated it.
So I learned this today when I wrote this. There are other continents, but nothing is known about them. So Thedas is one continent on a world, but we don't know anything else about those other continents. Thedas is home to the countries of Anderfels, Antiva, Estwatch, Ferelden, that's where the game takes place, the Free Marches, Navera, Orlais, Orzammar, Parvalan, Raven, Suheron, and the Tevinter Imperium.
There'll be a quiz on this later.
There will be a quiz on this later. Most of those aren't necessary, but it's like, hey, we're going over this, so why not talk about it?
Yeah.
So Ferelden, that is important. So Ferelden, that is the name of the country where Dragon Age Origins takes place. It is in southeastern Thedas. It borders Orlais to the west, the Kankari Wilds to the south, the Amaranthine Ocean to the east, and the Waking Sea to the north. Ferelden was occupied by Orlais 30 years ago until Merrick Theron and Logain Mactyr led a successful revolution. Logain Mactyr, that name sounds like it's going to be important. It sounds like an important person name. Very interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Orlais, it is an empire in southwestern Thedas. It occupied Ferelden until 30 years ago. And Orzammar, one of the last 2 remaining dwarven kingdoms. Located under the Frostback Mountains, it is nearest to Ferelden. It was once the capital of the Dwarven Empire.
And do we at any point talk about like the extreme broad information that we have about the origins of what we're going to be talking about of the Darkspawn? Have we written that anywhere? Because I'm just now looking at the show notes and I don't think we do.
Where it says Darkspawn here in red for Matt to read?
Where I'm talking about it. I know it's in red, so you don't read it, but it might be in there.
But like, do we like we've got okay, all right, fair enough. All right.
Does that work? Is that good? Do you want to go more into depth about Darkspawn? We certainly can.
Oh, we could just chat about him a little bit more. That's fine. So we've got the Deep Roads. The Deep Roads is a continent spanning networks of roads and cities beneath the surface of Thedas. The Deep Roads once belonged to the Dwarven Empire, but now are almost entirely controlled by Darkspawn and lay in ruins. And nobility in Ferelden is a little tricky because it's extremely close to how feudal systems work in our world, but they used slightly different names for a few of them. So here's a brief outline. The only ones that you really need to know are King and Queen at the top and the Terrans at the bottom. Not at the bottom, but they're like a step down. But here's the full list of things, just so people are aware. The King or Queen's domain is all of Ferelden. Below the King or Queen are the Terrans. There are 2 different Terrans in Ferelden, one for the northern Ferelden and the second for southern Ferelden. And then after the Terrans are the Arls. There are currently 6 Arls. And after that come the Banorns. There are a lot of Banorns, and I like to think of it like a pyramid scheme. Because that's what feudalism is. It's just a big pyramid scheme. And so at the top of the pyramid, we've got the King and Queen. Just below that, we've got the Prince and Princess. Then we get into Terran or Terinas. I don't think we've met a woman Terran, so I'm guessing at that pronunciation. Arls and Arlessas. An easy way to remember. Oh, I did also write a almost pneumatic devices that don't make any sense, but I'm going to say them anyway. So we've got King Queen number 1, Prince Princess number 2, Terran Terinas for our Terran up 3rd place. Arls and Arlessas Are you all right being fourth most powerful?
My favorite.
Bans, buy some banners for just being off the podium. Lord and Lady, Lord alrighty, do you have barely any power? And then we've got Knights, which are Knight, you're at the end of the list. So the most important thing to know, King and Queen's at the top, and Terrans are like the most powerful outside of Kings or Queens or that direct royalty line.
Right.
The
like
Warden
lords.
is... each game in the Dragon Age franchise has a different protagonist. The protagonist for Dragon Age Origins is the Warden. When you hear us say the Warden, we were talking about the main protagonist. Warden rhymes with accordion.
So the Warden is the player.
Yes.
Honestly. Okay.
Dana, how good do you feel about Warden rhyming with accordion?
Really, really good. And
Great.
And did I like make sure that this was like colored out perfectly so that you would say Warden rhymes with accordion? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
The whole point of this was just getting you to say that.
Good. Podcast done, friends. Good night.
All right, so the Grey Wardens. The Grey Wardens are an ancient order of warriors pledged to fight the Darkspawn wherever and whenever they are found. They are headquartered in the Anderfells, but have outposts in nearly every country in Theodos. The Grey Wardens do not care if someone was a king or a beggar before becoming a warden. All right, the Darkspawn.
Good for them.
Yeah, the Darkspawn. Tainted humanoid creatures. Think of orcs and orc-like things. They are mostly unorganized, but become fearsome threat when led by an archdemon. Yeah, they're basically the bad guys. They're the things you're killing constantly. I mean...
Yeah, and I think this is kind of where I want to talk about. The opening cinematic gives us extremely broad details about how these things came to be in the first place. And the reason we are given here, and I know that we get into more details in later games and later on in this one, is that mages gained such power that they reached into heaven to try and bring it down to them to basically create this perfect society. And then in doing so, accidentally opened the way for the Darkspawn. And these Darkspawn kind of went through and just brutally destroyed the Dwarven kingdoms, at which point the Grey Wardens were formed, and they were the only ones who were able to unite all the countries together in order to defeat them. So that's kind of like the brief background that we are given on this. Very broad, not a lot of details, but that's kind of the setting of all of this that we get to.
Yeah, it's like the myth. It's like the creation myth of Darkspawn. It's kind of what it is. It's like not necessarily like the true story of the creation of Darkspawn, but very much the creation myth of Darkspawn.
Got it. All right, so the Blight. The Blight is a bunch of Darkspawn attack that surface all at once. It's only a true Blight if the Darkspawn are led by an Archdemon. There have been 5 true Blights in the history of Theodos. Dragon Age Origins takes place during the 5th Blight.
Are you saying there's an archdemon here somewhere?
Am I saying there's an archdemon somewhere? I mean, you'll know once you get to camp.
All right, the Orlesian Chancery. Chantry. There we go, Chantry. That's what that is. They are the largest religion in Theodos. They are the order of priests based on the teaching of Andraste. There is just so much drama here, but we really don't have to worry about that right now.
Andraste.
They'll come up. It's a surprise clue that'll help us later.
They are rude boys. I do not care for them so far. That's my.
Do we
that's my hot
encounter
take.
them? Do we encounter them in that first area?
I did a lot because of my origin story, but I don't. I think that they're mentioned when after the origin story, but not a lot.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So any priest characters that you ran into in the camp would have been Chantry.
Okay, so I might have talked to them, but I didn't get.
Yeah.
There wasn't much for me to talk to because I was.
And as a dwarf, you wouldn't have much, you wouldn't have had anything in your origin story about the Chantry at all, because it's essentially a human religion, and then also some elves, because of how elvens, like parts of elven society, have been like enslaved by humans. So, so it's primarily a human religion. So,
right, all right. So the Circle of Magi, group of responsible for all mages in Theodos. Theoretically, they are theoretically. That's a period after that word. They are monitored by the Orlesian Chancery and their Templars. Mages live in communes and have strict rules about leaving. When a mage joins a circle, some of their blood is taken so they can tracked if they try to run away. The reason mages are kept in their circles is because of chance they turn into blood magic or become possessed by a demon. That's all. That's certainly not foreshadowing at all. Nope, not at all. Okay. Templars, an order of knights trained to hunt mages. If there's a mage's circle, there's a Templar order in the same location. They hunt apostates. Apostates, what are they? They are mages who practice magic outside the circle of magi. These range from your neighbor who uses a little magic to keep critters out of their garden to the most powerful blood mages. So,
Yeah, and they're all equally tracked down by the Templars and the Chantry. All right. Yes. All right.
The origins.
So no cast of characters this week because we don't have a cast of characters to talk about yet. But we do have 6 origin stories to kind of get into because they're just all really fun. They're all unique and like full of like flavor and world. And I played through all 6 of them before we started because I had so much fun. So we're going to get into all of that. The origin stories are the Magi or the Mage, the Dwarf Commoner, the Dwarf Noble, Human Noble, Dalish Elf, and City Elf.
So I'm going to go ahead and start with the one that I actually did on my playthrough, which is the Mage. So the Mage is awoken in the middle of a massive tower, and we are told that we have to undergo a special ceremony in order to become a full-fledged mage, as this is our final test. We are told that we have to defeat a demon that resides within the Fade. What's the Fade? Well, it's like a magic dimension where things are different. And there's just a lot of magic, and a lot of times what you think is the case ends up being the case. Like, you can manifest your thoughts in the Fade in a sense. So like, it's a wild, magical, funky place. Once we get into the Fade, we run into someone who looks like an apprentice, and who tells us that we are not the first and we won't be the last to fail. But this apprentice offers to help us after some convincing. They've been stuck there for an unknown amount of time, and we don't really question it too much, but they are essentially like, hey, I've lost track of time. I don't know if I've been here for years, months, or centuries. We eventually get help from a spirit and a demon named Sloth, who I just loved. This demon is just a real sleepy dog boy, and he offers to teach us how to change into a bear form, but only if we answer his riddles 3, and if we don't answer his riddles, he just eats us. Iconic. Love it from you, Sloth. Great job. We eventually encounter the big bad demon that we are supposed to slay. After the big bad demon is defeated, he turns to the apprentice who's been with us and says something ominous. I can't remember the details, but basically implying like, hey, this person, not a great person. The apprentice asks us to borrow our body so they can escape the Fade. Turns out the apprentice was our true test. We deny them, and we say, no thank you, I would like my own body, you cannot have it, goodbye. And we pass the test and escape the Fade. We are awoken by a different annoying friend who we haven't really talked to yet so far, and they ask us about the ceremony. We don't tell them anything because we're not a snitch. We go and talk to some higher-ups, and none of them really, like, there's a lot of different names. I'm not going to name all the different names, but there's some other important people. Our friend comes back and tells us that he's in love with a girl, and they need to escape before they're both punished. What could go wrong? We mentioned earlier that all the mages are tracked, so we have to help him by destroying his phylactery. It's their vial of blood that mages can use, that the Order of Magi can use to track rogue mages. So we got to go in and destroy it. We help him, but we're caught right after we've finished escaping. We destroy the thing, we walk out, and they're like, hey, you shouldn't be here. You're going to jail. Our friend uses blood magic. No! The worst type of magic. His main squeeze is horrified at the usage of blood magic and refuses to go with him. Our friend runs away, and we are in real trouble. We're offered to go with the Grey Wardens because we stood up for our friend, and if we don't go, we have to deal with the consequences of our actions. No thank you. Let me run away from my problems and join the Grey Wardens.
So this is a fun, there's 2 different ways you can approach this story. You can approach it from the way Daniel did, which is like by being a good friend and not a snitch, or you can play it the way I did this most recent time, which was to be a complete and total snitch and be like a true believer in the circle and, you know, mages and the chantry, and mages need to be watched because our powers are so uncontrollable. And so like, as soon as he comes to me, I'm like, oh yeah, dude. And then I ran to the guy in charge and was like, hey, guess what? And then he turns to you at the end. He's like, what? And I was like, hey, dude, like, you can't just be going off and doing stuff. And then, like, he turns to blood magic and dashboard confessional turns on and it's like, vindicated. And I was like, yeah, see, being a snitch is the true and right way to be.
I also want to note one really cool thing is that essentially mages are given kind of two paths. One is they're given that final test, and if they pass, they become a mage. And if they don't, they're usually dead, so you don't really need to worry about them if they don't pass the test. The other is if they don't want to give the test to somebody, they can undergo a different kind of ceremony, which this ritual takes away all of their emotions, and they become basically like just a husk of a human that can serve the circle of magi in various ways. Like the one that we interact with is the person that's in charge of all the magical equipment, but they have no more feelings or emotion or anything along those lines, and they just become like an empty husk of a person.
Yeah, they do a lot of the enchantments because they still have like, because they have no attachment to the Fade, they can therefore like enchant weapons and that kind of stuff. So like, it's the only safe way for humans to do enchantments. Dwarf Commoner, Matt?
Yeah, Dwarf Commoner. Dwarf Commoner. If you're a Dwarf Commoner, your occupation is either beggar or street urchin. Guess what? You're a street urchin. So you basically start the game. You're talking with your sister and her, I want to say, friend that helps them
Pimp.
improve their situation. Pimp? Yeah, pimp is good. And also he's your boss, which is great. So like he's trying to convince, your sister to like hook up with this dwarf noble to improve her situation and maybe improve your situation. Also, your mom is super drunk. That's a thing. Yeah, your mom's not great. Anyway, so your friend has your sister's friend has a job for you. He wants you to go shake down a smuggler because he's not delivering the right amount of stuff. So guess what you do? You go hang out with your friend, who's also a henchman of sorts, and you go shake this guy down. It's a fun little scene in a bar where you get to like shake the guy down and be like, and he's like, "Oh, I'll pay you," and you can just like, he's like, "Are you an idiot?" Yeah, or you can take the money and run and let him live, or you can kill him. I decided to kill him because you know what? You were shorting my boss. You deserve to die.
I am curious. You mentioned a friend. I know that there's a friend that used blood magic that I just referenced. Is the friend the same in all origin stories, or is that very different? Okay.
It's very different. It's just like another dwarf. He's like a rogue. I picked the warrior. He's like a dwarf rogue.
Yeah.
I would assume if I picked the rogue, he'd be the warrior.
It's a party-based game, so basically in all of the origins, they give you a companion to kind of help fill out the party a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, you go to the guy. You play good cook, bad cook against the guy. Between you and your friend. Usually, you just shake him down or kill him. I ended up just murdering him in the spot, and the rest of the bar was like, "Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it." So then you can go back to your boss, and he's like, "Hey, good job. You did the work. Where's my money?" You can either give it to him or be like, "Yeah, he didn't have it," and you just keep it. But either way, good news. He has another job for you. You get to there's a big fighter tournament happening. You get to go take care of that. But no, you're not. You're a commoner. You don't get to fight. You just have to go spike this guy's drink, make sure he loses. Because I got a lot of money on my buddy who's fighting him, and I want him to win.
That's really good.
Yeah. So guess what? You go inside, and guess what? Your boss's friend is out cold drunk, like completely drunk, whatever. So what do? Well, first off, you go find his opponent, and you just play fanboy. You're like, you're the greatest fighter in the world. Oh my God. And your friends are going sneaking around, going to spike his drink. And once he's done, he's like, yeah, that's good talking to you. You go back to the other guy. He's still out drunk. You can just grab his armor, fight in the tournament. We all look alike. We're dwarves. It's fine. Anyway, so you go through the armor. You win the first round. You win the next round. You win the third round. All of a sudden, at the end of the third round, the guy who was drunk, who your boss bet on, well, guess what? He wakes up and calls you out. At this point, you can show your face, say I'm a commoner, or you can be really mean and be like, go suck eggs, I'm a commoner. Duncan seems really impressed. Duncan's the Grey Warden guy we talked to. We meet. Everybody meets at the origin story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then so you get thrown in jail. Good news, you bust out of jail and murder everyone along the way, on the way out the door, because that's what you do. You're a murderer. You reach it. You get out to the front door, and Duncan and the police and the dwarf police ish. I don't know. The dwarf noble are around.
The warrior cast.
The warrior cast. There we go. Are there to meet you, and is either go with the warrior cast and get murdered, or go with Duncan. Everybody seems to be okay with you going with Duncan after you've murdered everyone. It's fine. So you go with Duncan. And that's the origin story of the Dwarf Commoner. I loved it. It was so much fun. You get to play like a bad dude. It's great.
Yeah, Dwarf Commoner is a super duper fun origin story. I hadn't played it through till this time, and it was an absolute blast. One thing I didn't know until this playing through it, apparently all commoner dwarves have the same face tattoo. So at some point they get
like a little thing
face
like,
tattoo, and so they know that you're not like a member of a caste because you have a face tattoo. So the dwarf society is caste based, like very rigidly caste based, and so like commoners can't fight as members of the dwarf, as members of the fighters caste, and so on and such forth. So yeah, super cool, a lot of fun, and it's really fun like going through and fighting all these like warriors and winning, and then being like, yeah, I'm a nobody. You don't allow me to fight.
Yeah, so you get arrested for being a nobody in fighting. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's great. It's so much fun.
So I am playing as a dwarf noble. This is this is probably my second favorite origin story. So the dwarf noble is an Idukan, which is the royal family of Orzammar, and you are the middle child of the royal family. So Orzammar is one of the two kingdom of dwarves. Talked about that. You are being celebrated today because tomorrow you become a dwarven commander and take soldiers into battle in the deep roads against Darkspawn for the first time. Your father, the king, asks you to uncover a lost artifact of the royal house. When you get to the location where the artifact is supposed to be, you run into some dwarven mercenaries who have your oldest brother's signet ring and are trying to convince you that your older brother, Terran, is trying to kill you. Weird. You can take care of them easily enough and figure this is no big deal. You'll just return the ring to him and clear all this up. Shockingly, this becomes a big deal because when you make it back to the rendezvous point, your brother is dead. When you reach down to see what happened, all of a sudden here comes your brother and your father, your younger brother and your father, the king, and they think you killed your brother. Well, good news because you have some scouts who are along with you and they can explain what happened. Bad news, the scouts lie and tell your father that you murdered your brother. You are exiled to the deep roads to fight Darkspawn until you die. Luckily for the story, you're kinda awesome and fight Darkspawn until you run into Duncan, who happens to be in the deep wards killing Darkspawn for funsies because he is a Grey Warden. He is impressed that you survived and invites you to join the Grey Wardens. You do so you don't die in the deep roads.
Yeah, seems pretty great.
Yeah,
It does.
I'm going to talk about the Human Noble. The Human Noble is the youngest child of the Cusland family and has grown up in the Castle Cusland. The Cuslands are one of the most powerful noble families in Ferelden. As the youngest, you are tasked to stay behind and defend the castle while your father and older brother join King Caelin's army at Ostagar to fight the Darkspawn. Before they leave, you meet Duncan, a Grey Warden who is looking to recruit one of your father's knights, and Rendon Howe, another Ferelden noble. Rendon Howe and his army are supposed to join the Cusland army, and they will make their way to Ostagar together. But Howe's army is delayed. Your father tells your brother to take the army and go to Ostagar, and that he will catch up with Rendon Howe once Howe's army arrives. Surely, this isn't a big deal at all. What could go wrong? Let's let our army free. We don't need it for ourselves. Oh, oops. It's a big deal. That night, the castle is attacked by Rendon Howe's army. Treachery most foul! You, your dog, and your mom fight your way through the castle, and you find your father wounded. He was saved by Duncan, the Grey Warden, but he will not survive. The castle is surrounded, and they are all going to die, but Duncan offers to help you escape if you agree to join the Grey Wardens. Your mother stays behind with your father, and they both die in the final assault by Hal's army. You escape to Ostergard to tell King Calen and your brother about Hal's betrayal.
I loved this
All right.
one as well because when Howe's army attacks in the night, and so you hear this like bang, bang, bang on the door, and you're in bed, so you like hop out of bed in your underwear and have to immediately start fighting, just you and your dog. It is so good. And then you run to your mom, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm fighting as well," and like gets on her armor, and she's like this awesome archer. It's a ton of fun. It was really, really good.
I'm curious, like, how much do these origin stories play into like later plot points? Like, does this get resolved at some point later on in the game? The idea of like Hal's army coming in to betray their family at all?
So you're gonna run into Hal fairly quickly in some cutscenes, because Hal,
Okay.
yeah. So you can actually mention this to King Calen, and he's like, "Well, the first thing we're gonna do when we're done here with these Darkspawn are go and get your Arl ship back." So like,
Okay.
yeah, and then like the dwarfish storyline that's a big part of like you're when you go down there, like your younger brother is the king and that kind of stuff. So yeah, this stuff does kind of like come up in different ways. So like depending on which origin story you take. Yep.
Sweet. Matt, tell us about the Dalish elves.
You are a Dalish elf. You consider yourself a quote-unquote true elf because you don't live in a city. Rude. And you and a pal are hunting some humans who wandered too close to your clan's campsite. When you catch up to the filthy humans, they tell you of a cave nearby full of ancient elven relics. Well, that's pretty sweet. Better go check that out. Nothing bad ever happens at the beginning of a video game when you go diving into some ancient ruins. Something terrible happens. You are fighting through the ruins, minding your own business, killing undead that 100% shouldn't be there, but you don't care because you're a Dalish elf. Then you and your pal find some old mirror at the end of the ruins, and you can almost see something in the mirror. Both you and your friend are knocked unconscious. You wake up in a camp 2 days later after being rescued by Duncan and recovering from a serious fever. It's probably fine. It's not fine. After going back to the ruins to look for your pal, you instead find Duncan, who destroys the mirror and tells you it was emitting a darkspawn taint that has almost like surely killed your buddy and will also kill you unless you become a Grey Warden. You become a Grey Warden.
Yeah.
I do like how many of these, the end choice is either die or join us. Up to you.
I mean, you could choose death at the end and like you just start a new game.
It's true, you can.
That's pretty cool, actually.
The Grey Wardens are, I think, one of my favorite parts of Dragon Age because they are in no way like the good guys. They are just against the Darkspawn. Like,
Yeah.
they're not necessarily some like some group for good. They're just a group
Yeah, they're
against
not
the Darkspawn.
paladins
Yeah.
that are hoping to help everybody that ever needs help. They are like, we have one goal, and it's a goal that everyone also needs, but we will do anything to get that goal.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. It's also very mid-aughts as well. Which
Yes.
it's really great. Really, really great. As far as all of the origin stories go, this one is like far and away the weakest. It really is exactly what I explained, right? And what Matt wrote about. It's exactly what it is. There's nothing more to it. Like, you go find some ruins, you find a mirror, and then you get knocked out, and then you wake up, and then you have to become and that's the end. It's like, oh, cool, I guess. Great.
Ah,
Fine.
bit of a bummer.
All right, I got the last one, which is City Elf, which is my favorite. There is a male version and a female version of the story. We're telling the female version of the story because it's just better. So city elves are at best second-class citizens in Ferelden and oftentimes slaves of the Ferelden noble class. Cool. Love that for them. So you, as a city elf, grew up in an alienage, which is basically a ghetto for elves. But today is a good day because you are going to get married. Surely this is a day you will never forget. Oh, you'll never forget this day, all right. As soon as you meet your betrothed, a local human lord decides he wants to invoke the quote-unquote right of the Lord. You get it. He wants to pull a Braveheart. One of the other women in the alienage, a friend of yours, knocks the noble unconscious and his friends carry him away. Surely he will wake up, come to his senses, and realize how wrong he was about this. He wakes up, crashes the wedding, and kidnaps all the women in the wedding party. Trapped in his castle, the guards come in and take your friend away. You have to save her. You trick the guards into coming into your cell, and you dispatch them. Then you go around the castle, dispatching every other human you can find. Finally, you find the noble's room who kidnapped your friend and crashed the wedding. The noble tries to bribe you. Instead, you take care of business with extreme prejudice and rescue your friend. You go back to the alienage, but guards are waiting to arrest and execute you. Duncan is there, and he invokes the right of conscription, which allows him to draft someone into the Grey Wardens. Guess you're a Grey Warden now. Not getting married today. It's awesome. And it's the one, like when you play through this one, you have to turn Persistent Gore on, because it is dark and amazing.
Persistent Gore is so much. It's so silly.
It's really silly. All right, let's get into the recap.
Duncan, are your men ready for battle?
They are, Your Majesty.
Probably. They probably are. It's probably fine. So, we are going to start at the beginning of the story after all the origin stories. They all converge. You've joined the Grey Wardens one way or another, and your first task is we are all brought to Ostagar. So, the Warden and Duncan travel to Ostagar to meet with King Calen and Terran Logain MacTyr. You'll remember from Dano's insightful and informative explanation earlier that a Terran is a noble who essentially runs half the country. King Calen is wearing polished golden armor with a giant, beautiful shoulder pauldrons and a great sword on his back. He looks cool as heck, and also so mid-2000s.
It's very
It
World
is
of
wonderful.
It's very World of Warcraft. It
is exactly World of Warcraft. As someone that played World of Warcraft a lot and specifically wanted to get as cool as shoulder pauldrons as possible, I saw this and I was like, peak character design. Nailed it. Perfect. No notes. I want that armor. I don't think I'm going to get that armor, but I want that armor.
It is. World of Warcraft is 2004, so it is very World of Warcraft. It is not very Dragon.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
correct. I want to check that real
It's
quick.
100%. It's 100% World of Warcraft.
It's the best part of fantasy art. Like giant shoulder pauldrons. They're amazing. I love
so
them.
fun.
They're
It's so
so
fun. Logain also has amazing shoulder pauldrons, but where Calen is bright and cheerful in both tone and literal colors, Logain's armor is unpolished. He has dark circles around his eyes, like he hasn't slept in a month, and he is quite gloomy. If character design means anything, well, it probably doesn't. Let's not worry about that.
No.
Duncan, the Warden, and King Calen have a little chat. Calen mentions that he's heard about a promising new Warden, and the Warden has the ability to either be snarky or respectful to the King, but either way, Calen handles it with grace and good humor. Calen, super cool dude. Super cool dude. Love him a lot. Duncan and Calen talk about the current blight. Duncan has gathered every Grey Warden in Ferelden, but prefers to wait to attack the Darkspawn army until reinforcements from the Grey Wardens in Orlais. Calen tells Duncan that all seems to be under control, and that they don't need to wait for Grey Warden support from Orlais. Surely, this decision won't come back to haunt the King in any way, shape, or form. After this interaction, Duncan tells the Warden to explore the camp for a bit, get some food, and then go find Alistair, another Grey Warden, to prepare for the joining. There is a capital T in the and a capital J in joining for the joining. So you know it is important because it is a proper noun. How did you guys feel about like the introduction of the king and this camp before we get to any of like the major quests?
I liked it. It's a good way to it's a good way to get settled and like kind of explore a lot of the stuff. Like you find a couple side quests here that are like super easy and they kind of wrap up in the next area anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's basically here's the tutorial area. We get to talk to people, learn how the game works, right? I like it a lot. It's fun.
It's great. I love the introduction with I really fell in love with King Calen during this part because I played through it 6 different times because each different origin ends with the same like introduction to King Calen. And sometimes I'd be snarky with him because I was a city elf, or I would tell him about how, you know, one of the Arls just literally killed my entire family, or I am a dwarf noble and, you know, we're equals. And in every interaction, Calen is just awesome. He's just like, if you kind of insult him, he just kind of like brushes it off and then handles it like really well. And if you are respectful, he is very much like a man of the people. Really, really, really. Calen is fantastic.
I that I want to second that because he's such a fun character. He's somebody that is like the prototypical I'm here for glory, but not for like selfish reasons. Like he's there because he wants to save people and he cares about his kingdom, he cares about his people. He just also wants to be like this king of legend. And being able to toe those two different identities, I think, is really difficult. And I think they do a really good job of making him want fame, but still be extremely likable. I loved this character a lot.
Yeah, there is a cool little conversation you can have with Duncan here, where you're like, he sure seems kind of naive about this Darkspawn attack, doesn't he? And Duncan's like, yeah, he is. All we can do, though, is give him our best counsel. And this will come up later during the actual council meeting that we have towards the end of this arc that we're talking about today. But like, he, has trusted advisors who don't have like his best interests in mind. So like, he comes off very much like kind of glory seeking, but in the end, he would actually prefer to be more pragmatic, but trusts the wrong people more than he probably should. And it's this really cool, like, it's a very, you'll get a few hours with him. And what you get is this amazing little story that is told through just a few cutscenes and a few interactions, but it is really, really well told. And I think it is fantastic. And we'll talk about it all at the end as well, but I absolutely love this. And then there's a couple fun little quests. You can meet your dog if you want. There's a sick little doggo that you can help get better. There is a man in a cage that will, if you give him some food, will give you a key. And then if you hold on to that key instead of using that key, there's some great stuff later. I forgot to tell you guys about that. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't see this dude. I didn't talk to this dude at
so
all.
We'll still be waiting for him. So when we get to that DLC later, just check his body and there will be a key for you.
Okay.
All right.
But it's this really cool interaction with this guy who was trying to run essentially and was under guard, and just just like little cool like vignettes, little very small side quests that are fun that will like suck up like 2 hours of your day if you let it, but are really not necessary. Which I like in a story, so I really enjoyed it a lot.
Should we continue on?
I think we should.
Alistair and the Warden are joined by two other recruits, Davith and Sir Jory. Did I even remember their names when writing this? No. They're the most bland of blands that can bland. I have never in my life met two characters in a video game and I went, well, they're gonna die. As confidently as I saw these two. I was like, there's no way that they're going to give me a party of 3 white dudes in a world of dwarves and elves and witches and magic. That's going to be my party. No, thank you. Alistair will survive because he seems to like be in control, and the other two are just like there to die. I didn't know that definitively, but I knew that definitively.
I call them the red shirts.
They are the red shirts.
As they should be. Duncan tells the recruits that they are about to go to the Kokari Wilds, kill Darkspawn, and fill 3 vials with Darkspawn blood. While they're out there, they also need to collect some historical treaties that are in a magical chest. These ancient treaties promise aid to the Grey Wardens during a blight, and Duncan fears that they're going to need these treaties, because if we don't have those treaties, people aren't going to help us. One of the red shirts, Grey Wardens, asks Alistair if it is safe to go into the wilds because of all the Darkspawn. Alistair explains that all the Grey Wardens can sense Darkspawn, and that there are some Darkspawn in the wilds, but most of the army is elsewhere. After collecting the Darkspawn blood, the Warden, Alistair, and Redshirts make their way to the Grey Warden ruins to collect the treaties. When they get there, the ruins are completely ruined, and the chest with the treaties is empty. Before they can leave, a mystical young lady in her pajamas introduces herself as Morrigan, and tells them tells the away team that the treaties are with her mother, Flemeth. The away team asks questions why Flemeth and Morrigan, 2 apostates, which again, magical users that aren't a part of the Circle of Magi, are helping the Grey Wardens, because typically, if you're an apostate, you don't really help anybody, you just kind of survive. Flemeth dryly explains that a bunch of Darkspawn marching through her home will end as badly for her as it will for anybody, which, well, fair. She then tells Morrigan to escort us out of the wilds to head us back to Ostagar.
Yeah, so the Kakari Wilds. This is some of the most miserable side questing in any video game ever gamed. There are like hidden side quests in this as well, where like it's brutal.
Yeah.
And if you just blow right through it, that is the correct way to play the Kakari Wilds.
Okay, I did like the path thing where like their little X's showed up on my map, and I just followed the path. Did I get anything out of that? Do I get anything out of that?
Did you go to the chest at the end?
Yeah.
That chest was what you got out of it.
That's dumb.
There's also a second chest that you can get by following another path that is within codex notes. So if you go and you find like a couple of dead bodies, and then like you add a note to your codex, and then you read that codex note, and then you go somewhere else, and then you read that codex note.
I found some wills. I found some other stuff that like that I'm sure will come into play later. But the side quest.
As someone that does not do side quests, this was perfect for me. I loved it. I marched right through. I saw the Darkspawn. I got the things I needed. I was in and out in like 40 minutes, and I had a great time.
Yeah. Like the side quests in this game, like you will like gain them and then complete them. You're like, oh, okay. Oops.
Okay. That's the way I like it. Like I like side quests to be incidental, not like go hunt 50,000 rabbits, right? Like
yes.
The only side quest that I did complete intentionally was you have to go get some herb for a sick dog. And I went through so fast. The first thing was hunt for that flower, and I found it immediately. And I was like, okay, now I can just do the main quest, and I did.
Exactly,
it was great.
Exactly. That's exactly what I did too. So
yeah, the dog is great. Though the dog could bark a little bit less. I'm gotta look for like a dog bark less mod, because like I don't need you barking all the time.
Mute the dog.
Like,
Yeah,
it is always barking like when it's part of your party, and I'm like, that's a bit much.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
So when we go back to Ostagar, it is time for capital T, capital J, the joining. Duncan explains that all Grey Wardens can sense Darkspawn, which is pretty cool. He goes on to explain further that the way they sense Darkspawn is to drink Darkspawn blood. Gross. If a Grey Warden recruit survives the taint in the Darkspawn blood, they become a Grey Warden. Nice. Davith, one of the two redshirts, goes first and promptly dies from ingesting the blood of the Darkspawn taint. He went up first, so confident, and they explained about like, just so you know, like people do die from this, and I was like, oh, he's gonna die. Like you can't be that confident and survive this. They've just gotta kill him here. That's just the storytelling choice, right? And sure enough, immediately dies. Then Sir Jory, who is not as keen and excited to be there, it's his turn. And I went, well, if he's not going last, he's also gonna die.
Yep.
But he just saw somebody die from drinking the blood, so I don't think he's gonna drink the blood. What's gonna happen here? Well, he freaks out and cries about having a family or something and says he won't be able to do it and draws his sword. Duncan handles this just like an adult and stabs him in the gut, killing him. Okie dokie. And then he turns to you and goes, your turn.
It's just so it's crazy how cold it is. It's just like he just straight up murders him. Like, okay, you're not going to join the Grey Wardens. You're just dead. You're just going to be dead.
Yeah,
and you can ask him more about it. Of like, wait, why? Couldn't you have been nicer? And he was like, he had a choice. He chose to become a Grey Warden. He couldn't back out at that point. And in mine, he didn't kill him until he drew a sword. And so Duncan specifically was like, once he drew his sword, I had no other choice. I had to put him down. And I don't know if that's always the logic he gives, but that was what I got in my playthrough. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
It's like a Han Solo situation where, did
he's like
Han
stabs
shoot first or second?
Duncan stabs first.
Did Duncan stab first? Also a good show title.
The Warden is the last to drink the blood, and they survive, although they do go unconscious for several days, I think. I'm not entirely sure the timeline here. Is it a couple hours or is it a couple days? Do you remember?
I think it's a couple. I think it's a couple hours. I don't think it's like days.
Yeah, I think it's like for the night.
Okay. But when they wake up, they are officially a Grey Warden. I really liked this section. Like it was very predictable, not in the sense of like, oh, well, this is just obvious, but like it just followed story beats incredibly well.
Yeah.
And I think it portrayed the struggle of being a Grey Warden, why people might not like the Grey Wardens, even though their end goal is something everybody needs to relate to. Like, this is debatably the most important mission in the world, and yet why don't people like the Grey Wardens? Because they do stuff like this. And I really liked this section.
Yeah, I think it really set the tone for like the feel of the world, where it's like, okay, this is a brutal world that really doesn't care about the quality, like, you know, lives in
Yes.
at all. Like everyone is expendable.
Mhm.
Everybody serves a purpose, and if you don't serve the purpose or you don't agree to what we think you should do, you should be destroyed or killed or murdered or whatever, right? Like it's like, okay, here's the stakes, here's the world we live in. This is exactly like how like we demonstrate that, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very dark fantasy. Very
Yeah.
dark fantasy. Yeah, there's no like shining space station in the sky where all races come together in harmony to discuss the great moments of the day. No, this is like a dark, gritty, awful world where dark, gritty, awful things happen on like a regular basis. And it's
But
very
I think
clear from the
I
beginning.
think that there's still enough hope, because my
Yes.
problem is like in dark, gritty games, like a game that I played last year, maybe it was 2 years ago, I can't remember, that I just did not like was Plague Tale, and
yeah.
it was so dark. Every single level was dark, and there was literally no hope to be had at any point. Everyone that you ever met betrayed you. Everyone you ever interacted with wanted to kill you. Like there was no, but there's some hope. There is extreme punishments, but there are also people who are doing good. And I think that is a really hard needle to thread, and I think they do that really well, where they make me know there are stakes at all times, but it's not that everybody in this world is a dark and terrible person.
Yeah, this is a pre-Game of Thrones dark fantasy, not a post-Game of Thrones dark fantasy. So
Yeah.
Plague Tale post-Game of Thrones, where it's like, okay, the fun is for everything to be awful. And as soon as something good happens, something even worse happens to that thing that something good happened to them. Oh, you fell in love? Guess what? Everyone you know is about to get murdered.
That's Game of Thrones in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is definitely more of a dark fantasy with like where you have like moments of light, which kind of give contrast, which kind of makes the dark even darker. I feel like when everything is I keep using the word dark, but dark, then there's no contrast to it. It just
Correct.
all blends, right? And so it's not really
Yeah.
interesting anymore. Whereas this game has that contrast. I think is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I don't like Game of Thrones, by the way, because like you have to have some sort of good happen. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, there's no contrast in that story. It's just not.
Yeah,
it's an uninteresting story.
I mean, not to go too deep into Game of Thrones, but I liked a lot of Game of Thrones because there were still moments where I was like, oh, is there hope? And then season 8 came around and I was like, oh, just kidding. No, there's not. Everything's bad. Everybody's bad for all times.
Yeah.
But back to Dragon Age. 2 hours after becoming a fully fledged Grey Warden, it is time to sit in on a campaign meeting with Duncan, King Calen, and Taryn Loghain. A perfectly normal thing to do for someone who is at best a fresh recruit. It is wild that they're like, oh yeah, you just got here like 2 hours ago, and depending on your background, you might have either been a criminal, a spy, a worthless nobody. How about you sit in on the planning war session to save the world? It's fine. We learn that the grand plan is for Duncan and the Grey Wardens, King Calen and King Calen's army, to engage the Darkspawn. Once fully engaged, a contingent of scouts, including the Warden and Alistair, will light the beacon on top of the Tower of Ishal. The lit beacon will serve as a signal to Taryn Loghain and his army to flank the Darkspawn. Bingo, bango, bongo, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We are specifically told several times how easy this assignment is.
Oh, it's
how
totally
there's
easy.
nothing to worry about, how we probably don't even need to be there, how maybe we could just like lick some lollipops on the way around. Like, it is made a very big deal how easy this task is. And yet, it's not easy peasy. In fact, it might be the opposite of easy peasy. There is a little bit of lemon squeezy happening. When Alistair and the Warden get to the Tower of Ishal, it is overrun by Darkspawn. Terran Logain won't know when to attack unless they light the beacon, so they have to get to the top of the tower. I'd also like to note that it's really important here that the Grey Wardens and King Calen are both like, hey, maybe we should wait for reinforcements. Just to, like, I know we talked about it earlier, but then Terran Logain is very specifically like, no, we have the numbers. We're fine. Do the attack. Oh well. The Wardens fight their way through multiple floors of Darkspawn and are greeted at the very top by a giant ogre. And this ogre fight is really interesting. I don't know if my characters were too low level or if I played it wrong, but I think that the ogre has just an attack that will just grab somebody and literally beat them into the ground until they're dead. And it'll happen constantly. Because I could not keep any of my members alive, even casting healing spells on them. They keep going down.
Oh man, this one was good because like the red shirt mage you get, right? This is the first time you get him. Like first time I got to play with the mage.
You got a mage?
Yeah, they have the mage and like a row, like a archer guy that you get, like a red shirt two red shirts you get at the beginning, right?
I got an archer and a tank.
Oh, okay.
You are a mage.
But anyway. You are.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted a second mage.
Okay. No, I'm playing a warrior and Alistair's a Templar.
Yes.
Templar
okay.
tank. Yeah.
So I got an archer and I got a mage as my two red shirts. And the mage had like a weakness spell that he could cast on the ogre, and it worked so well. Like it was just one of those. Because I had the flaming swords on all the time, and then they put the weakness spell. I had the mage cast the weakness spell on the ogre, which allowed me to like beat the crap out of it, and it was great.
Nice, very good, very good. Dano, how did you handle this fight?
It was fine. So I'm playing a tank, and so I basically just use like my tanky like shield bash to just keep it basically stunned. So. I turned it away from the party, and then I had the archer just smoke it with the mage, and then Alistair like dual wielded behind it. So it was fine.
Oh, that's actually we'll talk about that in the next section.
I think I might have been a little underleveled from the tower because I didn't do any exploring in the wilds.
You might have been.
So this fight was very difficult. I was level 5 this entire tower. Do you guys remember what level you were by chance?
I was like 7 or 8.
I think I was like 7 or 8 as well. Probably
okay,
7,
that would
I think.
explain why I had
6
so
or
much
7,
difficulty with this.
Yeah. I can go and look too. I have the save point. But I think I was like Matt said, I think I was probably 7 or 8. Yeah.
So we eventually defeat this ogre, and as soon as we do, the tower is overrun by Darkspawn, overwhelming and defeating Alistair and the Warden in pretty brutal fashion. We are definitely 100% dead. Then we cut to the cutscene. Duncan and King Calen are desperately fighting the Darkspawn when the beacon is lit. But instead of coming to their aid, Terry Logain orders his army to retreat. We watch as an ogre tears King Calen in half. Duncan attacks and kills the ogre, but soon after, he also falls to the Darkspawn. Without the reinforcements, the King's army and the Grey Wardens are overwhelmed and completely wiped out. Not a single soldier escaped. We fade to black. Game over? Perhaps.
That was Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah, we did it! This shocked me.
Yeah.
I was pretty ready for the king to die because he was too good of a person to be in this world for too long, but I did not expect Duncan to die. And the fact that like the entire army is just gone, I was like, oh, this is the world we're in. Mm-hmm. This is the stage. Okay, very good.
Yeah, same. Like I was like, wait, Duncan's dead? Like Duncan can't die. He's Obi-Wan. Like he's like Qui-Gon Jinn, right? Like he's like
Qui-Gon
he has to die in Act 3, not in Act 1.
Exactly. Yeah, he has to die at the middle of the game, not the end of the game. At the beginning of the game. Come on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was like, okay, this is what we're doing, and then like I had to play through the next section, like the next little section before I ended up because to figure out what the heck happened. It was great. I loved it.
It's so much fun. I love all parts of like once like we hit Night in Ostagar, like everything is awesome. Like you get to go sit in on the very important person meeting and kind of see where Kalen's getting his advice about not needing any reinforcements. And he's like very clear, then why don't we wait for the reinforcements? And then Logain is like, we are not accepting any help from Orlais. And it's like, bud, they're Grey Wardens, first of all. And second of all, so it's very, very interesting. And what is great was it didn't have to end that way. Like, so it just kind of does. And so he made a very, very certain decision to like allow the child of his best friend to die. And it is best friend. And then his son-in-law as well. Because we didn't mention this, but King Calen is married to like Taryn Logain's daughter. And so we're presented with this very, very dark and interesting political world where like, there is a Darkspawn attack, but then also basically a revolution happening. And like, how will that revolution go down? Like, will it go down like, okay, I guess he's our new king, let's deal with it, or not? It's super cool. Super fun intro into the world. Like, it's like, boom, 6 hours in, here we go, buckle up, it's a party.
Yeah. I like the dialogue choices before you get into the fight to the tower, because you're like, you and like and Alistair are just like, you're like buddies at this point, kind of, right? Like, he's like, he's like, oh, we get to play the distraction, just put me up in a frilly little dress or something like that. And then like I was just playing wisecracker with him, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to see that, and he disliked that tremendously.
Alice is kind of a fragile human.
He is like, it's like he tries to dish it out, but like if you give it back to him at all in this game, he dislikes you, which is very interesting to me. So I may not be best friends with Alistair by the end of the game. Let me just put it that way.
Easy for that to happen with all the characters in the game, by the way.
Yeah.
You're all very touchy.
I will be best friends with all of them.
No. I mean, you have that mod in, right?
I do have several mods in, and I do want to talk about it.
We can actually talk about that here next. Anything else you want to talk about with the first section of the game?
Nope.
Awesome.
Once I figured out combat, I love this part. So much.
Hello, old friend. Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
So I thought we could like sit down and kind of like chat about like what class we're playing, what race we're playing, gender if you want, and then if you know kind of what sort of character you want to play yet, like DPS, tank, healer, etc., or if you haven't figured that out yet. So
yeah, I'll go first here. I am playing the elf mage, and I am currently trying out a little bit of everything as far as damage versus heals, because I think you have to have magic in order to be able to heal. And so right now, up until this point, I was the only person in my party that could heal. So I was like, I should probably take heal. That seems pretty important. But there are specializations that you can get later on in the game that I don't have access to yet. And one of them is an elf a spell slinger fighter that is like a melee fighter with spells based on the dexterity bonus that it gives you.
Warrior.
Oh, sword mage.
Arcane warrior.
So like your classic sword mage, basically.
Yes. And that is my favorite trope in fantasy, and there's not really many good iterations of that. So I'm gonna install a mod that will let me respec, because there's no respecking in Dragon Age Origins, which I think is kind of a bummer. So I'm gonna download a mod to respec once I get that unlocked, so I can go full melee DPS, sword slinging, spell slinging mage, and then hopefully at that point I've got somebody else that can heal. And I imagine that Morrigan can heal because I know that we get her as a companion at some point.
You get a full flesh healer. Yeah.
Okay. So that's my current plan, and I also will plan to romance and be friends with everybody. And I also have a mod that does allow me to go around without any sort of clothing on, and you can do it for the whole party. And so in the Tower of Ishal, I just had 4 bros just hanging out in their skivvies, and it made me laugh so hard as 4 mostly naked men took down an ogre. Very funny. And then afterwards, I was like, I don't really want my full party to be that all the time, but I do want my main character to be that all the time. So my warden is just down to his skibbies and swords all the time, and it's phenomenal.
That's perfect. If you like the Arcane Warrior like play style, both Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age Inquisition, the most powerful like characters in the game are the Arcane Warriors. It was so good in Inquisition, they actually nerfed it as a single player game. So
that's crazy.
So yeah, that you'll have a ton of fun with that. There's also some really fun, like if you want some build guides on how to get it right, I have one I can give you. So
okay.
But yeah, it's a ton of fun, and I almost went that way as well. So it's super cool. Yeah. How about you, Matt? Any plans yet?
So yeah, I'm a dwarf commoner warrior, male. I discovered the fact I really like dual wielding daggers. So I'm probably going to go down that route, and I haven't figured out what specialization I want to do yet. But so I'm like kind of doing a little more DPS ish early on. So we'll see how that travels out. But like, I'm enjoying doing that because I have like a spin attack, especially when I have like 3 or 4 enemies around me already, and I do like a little pirouette basically, and I do good amount of damage around me, so I can, chip down some of the enemies as I go. So I'm having fun with that. I'll see where that goes. Like I said, I'm not sure what specialization I want to go yet.
Yeah, Alistair's a super duper tank, so
yeah,
like, and dual wielding warrior is really fun.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I am playing a female dwarf noble warrior, and I'm playing as a tank. So one of the things in these games, like tank and healer, are both really important. Tank is especially important. Like, it's like actually some like times you'll need to like move a boss around to like make sure that, like, very much like MMO style, to make sure that their stuns are happening only in front of you, not to like the DPS members behind you. And so like moving them around can be very important. And so I don't necessarily love having Alistair in the party all the time. And so I was like, oh, I think I'm just going to play. So I was either going to play a mage healer or because like the primary healer is also not the most fun character as well. Or I'm going to play a tank. And so I ended up playing a tank as kind of the plan for right now. I did get the respec mod as well in case I change my mind later. But for now, I think I'm going to play through as a tank. So, and then I have Alistair, who starts with a tank build. I have him going down like a dual wield warrior build. And he actually might end up in my party more permanently.
On that mod, can I respec my class? If I'm dual wielding daggers, maybe a rogue is what I need to be.
You can do you can just do a longsword and a dagger. You don't have to do 2 daggers. Yeah.
I know, but I have +3 dagger and I have a pretty good dagger.
Oh, you're going to replace your gear pretty quickly, so I wouldn't worry about the gear right now.
All
yeah,
right.
Just use your best gear right now.
But I can do longsword and dagger.
Yeah, I think even as a rogue you would do longsword and dagger.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
I might be wrong about that. I've never played a dagger build or a dual wield build before, but I think that's correct. So.
All right. Yeah, I found a couple builds online that I'm kind of shooting towards right now.
Cool. Yeah. I haven't tried the respec thing, so I don't know for sure. But yeah, so I think I'm going on the tank route. That way I can be more flexible with my party. So if I'm always in the party, which I am, I will always have a tank, and then I can worry about either having either a hybrid healer or the full healer that the game gives us. And then I don't have to worry about always bringing along Alistair, because he's the only fully tanked. You can make one of one of the other warriors be a tank as well if you want, but the other each character you pick up has a path they're kind of supposed to go down a little bit. you pick up like a human healer, and then like a human DPS like mage, and then a DPS warrior. And so like they're not, you can pick them all up early enough where you can like spec them down certain paths if you want to, but they come with like a certain number of skills already in place, so it could be a little bit wonky.
Right.
But so I was like, I think I'm just gonna play a warrior, that way I always have a tank in the party. So it's kind of what I was thinking about right now. The plan. Head over to the sandwich. I'm getting hungry.
Oh, that's right. We're not in the sandwich yet. There we go.
We're not in the sandwich yet.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Sam just talked so hungry.
Munch, munch, munch.
Now we're in the nugget sandwich. What's our first good, Matt?
The voice acting. It's really good. It's really, really good. Like, everybody's giving a fantastic performance so far. I'm like, haven't like had any complaints. Also, I found Captain Janeway right away, which is even better.
Who is Captain Janeway?
She's Kate Mulgrew. She's the voice of the older witch lady.
Oh, she Flemeth?
She's Morgan's. Yeah, she's Morgan's mom.
Oh, I didn't realize she was Flemeth. Flemeth's awesome. Flemeth's also like, she's in this game quite a bit.
She's also like, a spoiler alert for future games this year. She shows up again several times.
Mm-hmm.
So
you IMDb
it. Captain Janeway, Kate Mulgrew shows up in several of these games, and it's great.
It is.
Once again,
I love that character a lot.
Once again, finding all the Star Trek actors I can find in all these video games. It's great.
Yeah. Flemeth's very pragmatic. I love it. She's so much fun. And Morgan's also very pragmatic as well, which is like, yes, let me kind of do my thing. And why are you doing this? So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. What's the not so good?
I got not so good. I really wish they had featured the other Grey Warden recruits from the other origin stories, like in the Grey Warden ceremony and battle. And maybe not even like the ceremony, or I don't know, like, why not have them be part of the game? They're all going to die right away anyways. So like, why not kind of just have that, a dwarf noble, a dwarf commoner, a human noble? Like, you can keep Sir Jory and the other red shirt if you want. That's perfectly fine. But like, or just have them be the two red shirts, right? Like, have them flip-flop as the red shirts depending on your party makeup. Not always have it be a warrior and an archer. I just think that would have been really fun, because they had these really cool backstories. And if you only play through the game once, you're only gonna like experience one of them. And that's super disappointing, I feel like. So I think that they should have featured those other because they're all really great stories, and it would have been really fun to see them featured at, even if it's like not even like canonically, just kind of hinted at, right? Like, oh, I think this is actually this. It would be, I think, really fun. Stormrage?
The best good is how this game doesn't pull punches, and it lets you know the stakes of the game right at the top. My least favorite thing in games is when they do so much table setting that nothing really happens for a really long time, and then eventually like, oh, okay, I get it now. And I think, not to preview it too much, but that's the main problem with Mass Effect Andromeda, is that it takes so long to get started that by the time the good stuff is there, you're kind of already not playing it. And Dragon Age Origins is just like, hey, here's the world, here's the stakes, things are brutal, people are gonna die, you better tread carefully, son. And I loved all of that. I think it's really, really good.
When we get to Mass Effect Andromeda 2 years from now, because we are playing Chrono Crossmas this winter.
I already got the graphic made.
It's so good.
Look, you guys are welcome to play Chrono Cross. I'm playing Mass Effect Andromeda for this December.
And that was the day Squelch ended.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number. I will ask myself 3 questions.
Matt, what are you liking so far?
Just like Stormy said earlier, like the fact that like the stakes were right there, and like the story beats are like there, and like, I've been taking notes as I've been playing along in this game, and like just, the fact that like Black Shoulder Pads guy is like, he's totally going to betray us, right? and then all of a sudden he betrays us. I'm like, yep, called it. You know, like the fact that like the 2 red shirts die in the joining ceremony. Yeah, that I called it, but also it's the trope. But the fact that I called this, but like I didn't feel like cheated or like, oh, this is just a stupid trope, is great. I love it. That's one thing I'm liking about the game so far, where it's like, okay, they're showing these story beats early, they're showing the mood, and like, yeah, you can kind of clearly see where it's going, but you're still enjoying it anyway, and it works. That's what I'm really liking so far. Stormrage, how about you?
I gotta save a dog. I gotta be a dog's best friend. I gotta go heal a dog, and the dog started saying hi to me, and I gotta get a medicine, and I gotta save the dog. That's the most important thing. If the entire rest of the army died, but I saved the dog, you know what? Sacrifices had to be made. Dano.
So this game dumps you into a fully realized world full of lore and stories. The world of Thetis is the main character, and I absolutely love that. Like, you are playing the story, but like it's just this grand, like, great fantasy, and like the truest way that fantasy is amazing. It is a continent spanning story, and it is so cool. And I absolutely love this. This game is just absolutely amazing because of it. They didn't shy away from what it was and what they wanted it to be, and they like just like, it's just awesome. It's awesome.
I think that one of my favorite things about this is that it feels like a perfect Dungeons and Dragons world, where if I'm playing D&D and they have like this big beautiful world, but sometimes like in actual D&D your DMs are like so constrictive about what does and doesn't happen in the world that it can sometimes be infuriating, of like, no, a character like you wouldn't do that in this kind of world. And it's like, okay, well this sucks. Dragon Age Origins is like, no, you can do a lot. You can be a jerk to the king if you want to. Fine, that's fair game. You can be super nice to everybody. That's fair game. You can still be yourself or how you want to play within a world that is fully imagined, and it's really strong.
Yeah.
What are you struggling with, Matt?
When I'm struggling with combat was really hard for me at first. Like, I just was like getting murdered in the woods constantly. Like, it was one of those situations where I was like, oh, I got like, it was right before we picked up the treaties, right? Like that group of orcs of Darkspawn that we fight just before it's like, I was just getting murdered constantly. I don't understand. I was like, what's happening? I was just getting frustrated. I actually put it away for a couple days, and then like I came back, started streaming it, and like looked around some more, found some more Darkspawn, maybe leveled up a little bit. And Dan helped me figure it. Was like, you need to pause the game. Like, really? Just pause the game. Pause the game. Cue your attacks. Like, you know, it's like pause more. You need to pause more.
Yeah.
Once I started pausing more, I'm like, oh, this combat's actually really good and really in depth. I like this. It's so much better.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, so now I can hit Control A, select all the players, so I select all my characters, and focus down a certain guy if I need to, which most of the time you should, because it just gets rid of that person off the table pretty quickly. It's combat that it's not like the problem I had with like I guess I was trying to play it more like, what's this, Baldur's Gate 3 combat, where I was like, okay, I'm near here and I'm trying to do this, and like I should really like work the entire board as opposed to work like the group one at a time. And I was trying to play it like that, not playing it like the game wants me to play it. Like, it was, so like pausing and taking it slow is the way to go in this game. And it made it so much better, and it actually allowed me to do the tower a lot easier, because I was able to like, oh, let me see what this mage can do. Oh, it has a weakness spell. That's pretty good. Let's use that against the troll. So
yeah, there are 2 keys that you need to use a lot. The first is the spacebar key that pauses the game and allows you to queue up different attacks and lets you queue up heal spells and debuffs. And the second is F5. That's your quick save. F5 after every combat, F5, or after it's been a few minutes, hit F5, because the game, even with the patch, will just decide that it's unhappy and will just drop. Like, I've had it drop like 3 times. And I was like, oh, well, I got a quick save. I'm okay. So it just kind of happens. So like quick saving a lot and then pausing a lot. You can set up your tactics, your party tactics, which I think you definitely should do. It comes pre-made with some tactics, and the healer one is pretty good, but the DPS ones are pretty bad, and they won't add to it. So as you add abilities, they don't add anything to it. So if you're not like pausing and telling them what to do as they need to, and you're not setting up your tactics, you're just not, the game is going to play really clunky because the characters will just do whatever they were pre-made to do. And so this, which is pretty basic. So you do, it is very much
pre-made
what
to be idiots.
Yes. Yeah. And it's 2005, 2006, right? Like it wasn't like there was the programming to have them do more, but I like it better this way than like having my party members just kind of acting on their own based on like what the programmers programmed them to do. I think it's more fun to be in control of the full party. I love the tactics in Dragon Age Origins, or the gambits is what they're called in Final Fantasy 12. It's my favorite kind of combat. I absolutely love that because you get to be so granular with what they do, and you can really put so much thought into how you build your party and your characters. I think it's a ton of fun. So I'll talk about that later, actually. So kind of went off on it.
Storm Rage, what are you struggling with?
Some of the dialogue is just so unnecessarily mean and rude. And like it just threw me off because it'll be like, so would you like to come into my house? I have food and drink for a traveler such as yourself. And your response would be like, get out of here, old man. I'm stealing all your money. And then I'm going to flip everybody off. Goodbye. And it's like, what? Why? And I just, it seems like the answers are like extremely good, extremely evil, not much in the middle. And I wish that there was some more nuance to make some of these dialogue choices more interesting, because most of the dialogue choices are, do you want to be a jerk? Pick this one. Do you want to be nice? Pick this one. And that's kind of it, and I wish that there was a little bit more there. Hey, Dano, what are you struggling with?
It's Mass Effect 1 dialogue all the way.
Yeah.
And this isn't a Mass Effect 1 problem or a Dragon Age Origins problem. This was like video game writing in like the mid-aughts, right? It's like edgelord dialogue, which is like, oh, you can be like a nice person, or you can be cool and be mean to everyone, and that's a thing you can do. It's like, but like maybe the answer is in the middle somewhere. And both of these games missed out on that completely. You're either a saint or just the absolute biggest jerk, and nobody would like you. And there is zero middle ground.
I do like the fact that like it gives you complete sentences. Like this is the thing you would actually say, as opposed to Mass Effect, which gave you hints at what that might be. And it, like, if you pick the wrong option, it's awful all the time.
When we get to Fallout, by the way, when we get to Fallout, there's a mod that I'm going to have you install that gives you the actual dialogue things are. Because in Fallout 4 especially, but the other ones as well, like, it just gives you like kind of like small little recaps of what it would be, and you'll say something which is like, you know, slightly disagree with what they have to say, and so you click slightly disagree with what they have to say, and it's like, you're the worst person in the world, and your mom is ugly, and you're like, wait, no, I didn't want to say that.
Well, like when I accidentally called Joker a cripple at one point in Mass Effect 2. It's like, it's like, no, I didn't want to do that.
And part of the problem you get with this, like even more so than you got with Mass Effect, because this wasn't a problem in Mass Effect. So in Dragon Age, and in all three Dragon Age games, your party members will dislike you and can dislike you to a really strong extent, or they could love you.
Alistair hates me,
and
already.
and based on the things that you say. And so, like, you might just go and be like, yeah, hey, townspeople, I'll help you. And then one of them will be like, we have a blight to stop. Why are you helping people? Dislike -10. And you're like, I just don't want these people to be murdered by the undead, dude. I don't think that shouldn't be a bad thing. Like, what?
Maybe they want it. Maybe they'll help us against the blight later.
Yeah. And so, like, this does even go beyond just like your character dialogue. And so, like, this is a problem with this game, which was like, the world is nuanced, but for some reason the dialogue is black and white. So it's like, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
So what surprised you about the game, Matt?
Basically, between the shoulder pads and the way like bodies are like laid on the floor after you kill them, and the way loot is presented, sometimes and the way like especially with the currency system, I felt like I was playing like classic World of Warcraft for like a hot minute.
Yeah.
In the best way,
Like, there's-
though.
It is like seriously, there's some real classic like World of Warcraft vibes happening in like the way this game is presented to you, and it works. It works really well, and I
Mhm.
think I'm pretty sure, like you said, like this is like the only way this is like the only game that's presented this way, and it's kind of unfortunate.
It's
because-
very unfortunate. Ask
because
Joel
I
why he
really
hasn't
like-
played the other 2 games.
Yeah, exactly. It has that World of Warcraft feel. It has that late, like that mid-aughts feel of like I'm like, okay, we wanted to play our own version of World of Warcraft, but guess what? It's a single player game with better dialogue. You know, and so like I'm looking forward to getting deep into it. That's what surprised me the most.
every year
Yeah.
I go like deep diving into like Reddit and Steam and YouTube videos looking for more games like this and this game and Final Fantasy 12, which are essentially single player MMOs where you
Single player MMO tactics games.
yeah, where it's party based, but it's just you and you're basically you control one character, but you have set your other characters to act as if they were thinking beings and can like make decisions that like you would make if you were playing them. And I absolutely love it. And there needs to be more games like it because it is so much fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Storm Rage, how about you?
I was just shocked at how quickly I was pulled into the story. Usually the first hour or so can be like a lot of table setting or exposition, and that just wasn't the case. Right from the get-go, right from the jump of the origin story, I was like, yeah, I am here. I'm in the Fade. I'm dealing with this demon. Turns out that the real solution isn't killing the demon, but making sure you don't fall victim to its influence. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. Great world, great fun. I'm here for it. Dano, what about yourself?
You may have noticed. I love combat in this game. I absolutely love it. You get to set your party up with specific commands, and like you can, even as you level them up, you can open up more tactic slots so that you can do more and more granular things. And I absolutely love it, and it is so much fun. So, for example, if a party member has 50% less health, you could have your healer heal them. Or if they're low on stam, you could have them use their stam ability. Or if an enemy engages with an archer in melee combat, you could have them hit with pinning shot. These are all little if-then statements that you get to set your characters up with so that they get to act as if they were thinking people that are there with you and playing the game with you.
And you can go so
Yeah.
granular with this.
Yeah.
It is crazy how specific, like you're basically coding yourself at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
For your computer teammates. I was super overwhelmed, and I looked up a couple things, and they're like, just do these basic things and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it helped me a lot. So if you're like, I don't know what to set them on, if you Google like best tactics for so-and-so in Dragon Age Origins, something will pop up and it'll help out quite a bit.
Yep. So I'm probably wrong about this, but it feels like a 2005 to 2007 kind of idea of like tactics gameplay. And it just feels like it's a thing that doesn't really exist anymore. And I really, really wish it did. I absolutely love this kind of combat style. Dragon Age 2 goes away from it. And then by Dragon Age Inquisition, it's a full-on console game. Essentially, you play with the controller. So, but it's this way. Origins is so much fun. The tactics base, the combat, the thoughtfulness that goes into the combat is an absolute blast. And I'm so excited to get to play it again. It's great.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Storm Rage, sell the game to a friend.
Characters? Great. Story? Engaging. World? Beautiful. Combat? Fun, but does take some getting used to. Give it a shot.
Matt.
Abuses of red shirt party members more than Captain Kirk does. A+.
And for me, it's incredible lore. So much lore. This isn't a video game, it's an entire world. So that's it for this week. Next week, what are we playing, Storm Rage?
We are playing up through Lothering, our first camp, and the entire Circle of Tower storyline.
They are pretty fun. Circle Tower is pretty interesting as well. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. Special thank you to our producers and best friends for Baximus and RidiculousHat. You can find our links to our Discord and contact information and support our podcast over at patreon.com/squelch.
And Dragon Age is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah! Slurp that dark spawn blood, baby!
A rabbit hole worth exploring.
This is the end of this show. Everybody bye!
I can't imagine playing this on console at all.
I
know there's a console port.
It was on console. It was hard.
Like this one I couldn't see playing on console because there's so much mouse and keyboard that has to happen, and just like it feels like I'd be playing StarCraft in an N64 controller, which didn't work at all.
Yeah, I played this game on Xbox 360 when I got out of the Navy. It was the first time I played this game, and yeah, it was hard. Yeah, it was not ideal for sure. It really is made for mouse and keyboard. Whereas when you get to Inquisition, like, you're just going to play with the controller.
Is there a way to... Does your save matter from this game into the Inquisition, or no?
Yeah, so saves matter a lot for this game into Inquisition. Yep, there's like...
Okay.
So there is, I think it's called like the Foundry, I believe, where you can like, I think it will still work, where you can like export and import your save files and your save states and your world states.
I'll just have to figure out a way to couch this game somehow by the time I get over there. We get there. So.
Yeah, I mean, you have it.
Or I might just... Yeah, I have it on both. I have it on Steam and I have it on Xbox.
Yeah.
I have all three of these on Xbox, so...
I played Inquisition on the keyboard, on the computer with just a controller, and it was great. It worked out really well. Yeah.
Okay.
I never played Inquisition. Oh no, I did play Inquisition first on the PlayStation 4, I think. But then I also played it on the PC.
I am just really excited because I don't like playing ahead because I forget things too easily.
Yeah.
And so I basically sprinted through this whole thing last Sunday after a Chrono Trigger. And I slammed to the end and I was like, I want to play more, but I'm going to forget all of it if I do it now because it'll basically be 2 weeks. So I finally get to play more Dragon Age today. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I got to the next section because I wanted to find out, and now I'm at the I guess I'm going to start playing the rest of the game now, and I didn't want to play ahead, and because like you, I would forget.
Yeah.
Even though I am keeping notes now, like it has been helpful, but like still, it's I don't want to play ahead of the podcast too far. So
yeah, this one will take more of like the full 6 hours. That because there's not, especially when you get to the tower, there's not really side questing in there. So, and then by the way, when you get to the tower, like just so you know, you're gonna pull up the guide when you get to the tower, because once you get in there, there is a certain point where you're actually there's a whole bunch of free skill points. So you basically get 3 levels worth of skill points, and they're really easy to miss. And so like, and some of it involves some backtracking and stuff. So like, when you get to the tower, and you'll know kind of the part that you're at when it's time. I don't want to give anything away. You're going to want to hop into the guide to make sure that you can pick up all those skill points, like 16 skill points in different things. And so...
And do we have the guide posted on our, in the Dragon Age channel by chance?
Oh, you know what? I will add that to it.
Yes, please do.
So like any Circle Tower like guide will have it, but I have another like ASCII one that we can use. So that I've been.
And you have the mods in there too, right?
I do, yeah.
The mods are in there already.
Yep. So I'll just throw it on the pin.
Because I need to go. I still need to do the mod thing. I haven't done that yet. So.
Yeah. Are there any of them that none of them are required really? Like there's like.
Yeah. Only the memory mod is the one I have, and
the crash one.
Yeah.
So
the crash mod, yeah.
The 2K, 4K one will make the game look better, but if you're okay playing it like
I'm only running. I run at 1080p anyway.
Okay, so then you're probably just fine. And then,
Oh, the practical Morgan robe. Yes, I need to put that on.
once she gets wearing armor, that's what she'll show. But on camp, it'll still show her in her pajamas. So,
yep.
So having the practical Morgan robe is nice because she's not wearing her pajamas.
I think she fits in better with my main character.
She fits in with your main character real well. And there's an elf buddy that's coming up too.
I mean, she's still wearing more than Jack did in Mass Effect 2.
Fair.
I mean, it's an accurate statement.
Yeah.
There's a DLC that fixed that though. All right, I have to go make dinner and then do taxes, so I'm gonna do that.
Enjoy that.
All right, thanks. Goodbye, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.